We just got some information about the 2025 LG G5 and C5, and this time around, can gamers finally stop gooning over a potential MLA 42-inch version? Will it finally happen? Well, let's talk about just that because we do have some pictures, and we'll get into them in just a second, but why are so many gamers looking forward to a 42-inch LG G5? Well, put quite simply, the G series is way ahead of the C series at this point in time. I mean, take a look here at the 42-inch LG C4 in terms of HDR brightness, and what you're going to notice is, well, yeah, the G4 is just stomping all over it. We're talking about nearly double the brightness for both a 10% and 100% window, making it far more capable for HDR imagery. But to make matters even worse, well, it also has far better viewing angles. Unfortunately, the C series still to this day appears to have a slight green tint, especially on white backgrounds when viewed off angle. That's been my experience with every single C series display, and I would be pretty shocked if they fix that in 2025, although here's hoping they do, because I love the coating on the C series. It is midnight black all the time, yet it is perfectly clear and glossy at the same time, whereas the G series does have a little bit better anti-reflective properties, but it's not quite as crisp or as black as the C series coating. So there are some trade-offs between the two, and I prefer the coating on the C series. But that being said, those are the main reasons as to why people want an MLA panel not only on their TVs for watching movies and playing console games, but also on a 42-inch format for playing PC games. Now, what we do know is at the very least, you can expect a 144 Hz minimum refresh rate, and at the very least a refreshed C series in 2025 at the 42-inch size. But yes, there is a possibility you could get more. You could maybe, if you're lucky, get a 240 Hz option with a G series panel. Now, of course, we don't know for sure if that will be the case, but I do actually remember that there was some leaked information about the 42-inch 4K 240 Hz LG OLED that was posted over on the TFT Central website, where they discussed that LG would be doubling the refresh rate of their 42-inch size panels from 120 to 240 Hz, which would be a substantial improvement and would likely, at least in my opinion, be debuting next year, as we got 4K 144, well, this year, so surely, as things progress, 240 Hz should be coming next year. However, we haven't heard a whole lot of updates since this original article, so we'll have to wait and see at CES if there is more information. But now let's talk about the 2025 LG G5 and C5 and discuss whether or not these will be coming into your house against your will. Yes, there's a couple of different images that were posted over on Reddit. First, let's take a look at what appears to be the 65-inch LG G5, as the name would suggest in the image. And if we take a closer look at this panel, well, if you can look past the pixels, you are going to see a panel which appears to still be MLA. Now, why do I say MLA? Well, because it has a slight magenta tint to the screen, which would suggest that it is going to have the MLA layer on the display. Also, as a side note, I have heard that potentially LG might actually be reaching 4,000 nits on this display. Now, in what mode and in what size that is, who knows? But apparently that's going to be happening. But now let's take a look at the next image of what appears to be the 55-inch LG C5 coming out in 2025, likely to be debuted at CES in 2025 in January. Now, this one, it's hard to say for sure because they didn't actually take off the plastic peel, it looks like, and I don't think they did on the last image either, but since I'm not seeing any magenta tinting underneath, I'm gonna have to assume that this is using a non-MLA panel. Now, that could be an issue because if the 55-inch size isn't using one, well, sure, there's a possibility the 65 and up could, but it's likely not to be the case, suggesting that a 42-inch C series display would also not be using MLA, but that doesn't count out a 42-inch monitor, as their monitors are going to be MLA, as they always have been. It also doesn't count out a potential for a 42-inch G5. Now, whether or not that'll happen, we'll have to wait and see, But yes, it does look like if you're looking for something 42 to likely 83 inches and up in the C series next year, it's probably still going to be non-MLA. Hopefully they've improved it, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's everything we have so far on the LG G5 and the C5, as well as talk about a 42-inch 240Hz MLA potential monitor or TV. We'll have to wait and see. I hope it does end up happening, but I'll be sure to ask everyone at LG as many questions as I can before they throw me out. And if you want to see that, be sure to get subscribed for everything display related here on The Display Guy. Whether you're looking to connect a new console, gaming PC, or just need a fast and reliable HDMI cable to connect over long distances, Rupro has you covered with their certified 8K HDMI 2.1 fiber optic cable available in sizes of up to 50 feet and can deliver a perfect full 48 gigabits per second connection over distances other cables could only dream of reaching. And with 48 gigabits per second of bandwidth, it can easily drive 8K 60 FPS or 4K 144 FPS 10-bit HDR video through its ultra-thin, flexible, and durable housing, and it even supports ER. So if you're in the market for a cable that can drive a beautiful new TV or monitor, be sure to check out Rupro on Amazon today.